Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to have a quick look around a little van that I bought that I actually happen to think is an absolute bargain. Sure, it's a little bit of a rough diamond, but I think once we've cleaned this up, it's going to be a really great little van. So let's check it out. So here is my new, to me, 2014 Vauxhall Combo Sportive van. This is the 1.3 CDTI. I don't know if they actually did these in a different engine in this era. Anyone tell me down below. I've owned a couple of these before, as I had them as like company vans for when I had my plumbing business. Not just still have, but when I had more employees, used to have these, the non-sporty version. So in the basic non-sporty version, they've got plastic bumpers, they don't have colour-coded bits, they don't have air conditioning. What else? I'm not quite sure. But this one should have everything, you know, air conditioning, they're not alloy wheels, but they've got like alloy-looking trims, and all the colour coding, etc. So I think it's quite a smart-looking thing for something that's now 9 years old. Yeah, I think it's quite good. And this was rated as a grade 5 at BCA, commercial grade 5 at that. So yeah, I took a bit of a risk on it, but I think it's all right. Let's have a bit of a closer look around. So starting at the front, well, the first thing that jumps out, maybe you better see this, I'll get you down low, but there is an under tray and a little bit of a little trim hanging down there, which does kind of scrape around on the ground as you're driving around, especially if you're going up over curbs and things like that. We've got a broken plate on the front, a little bit of paint coming off there, but nothing much for a van, is it? Headlights could do with a little bit of a restoration. Our wheel trims could do with a good clean up, and might be worth sanding them back and giving them a quick spray and doing them in you know, a whole nice same color. And definitely you want to take the trims off, sand this steel wheel back and paint it black. It's just going to make that pop so much better, and that'd be the same for all of them. We've got a Marshall tire on here, loads of tread. It actually looks pretty straight down this side. We've got some burr poo down here, a few little scuffs on here. That is a little scuff on there, but it's on the surface. That's plastic coming off something else, so that should polish out. Again, another Marshall on here, bit of burr poo, but nothing major. A little bit of a crease there where it's squeezed past something in the past, but again, not the end of the world. It's got a few marks in it that will polish out. Luckily for us, I didn't spot this when I was bidding on this, rubbish in back. Well, I have seen horror stories before where people have bought cars from, say, like Copart, for example. Not cars, sorry, I should say vans, and someone's filled the back with used tyres and broken the locks off, so you couldn't get in there to see it, and they bought it and they got lumbered with 150 used tyres, which are about £2 each to get rid of, so that's 300 quid. So I panicked for a minute, but luckily that isn't the case with that. And yeah, we've got lucky and the doors work, all that sort of stuff. So I assume this went to BCA with some rubbish in it, and BCA have cleared it out before it went to auction, because it then dawned on me that I saw the pictures inside the back when I bought it, and they didn't have this stuff in, so it scared me a little bit though. Bit of something on the paintwork there, but I think that will come off, maybe a bit of glue residue or something. Then round the back, you see we've got deadbolt locks on here, but I don't think we've got a key for that. It's had something in there like a step ladder, I would bet, because a little ding there, a little ding there. I bet you someone's closed that door onto it and dented it out. You could get the dent man on that to sort that out, but I'll be honest, I don't think it's really worth it. A few scratches on the top of the door as well, which they're not too raised. They might even polish out those where they've been sliding probably that same step ladder onto the roof rack, which we might end up taking off. I suppose it's quite a useful thing, but we'll see. Then round to this side, we've got a Devante this side. It's not a Marshall. Looks pretty good. Again, we've got our deadlock. Got some scratches down here. I can just about catch that with my finger, but I think the worst of it will come out. Sills look good. We've got a broken wing mirror caplet, and indicator. So we're gonna need to get one of these. In fact, yeah, it's all quite broken in there. The actual thing itself looks all right, but yeah, I wonder if we can just get a cover maybe just to tidy that up. Passenger front. This one's been taking the most abuse. Look, you can see it's actually worn through to the steel wheel. Maybe we'll see if we can get one replacement trim. It's nice that they're genuine Vauxhall ones. I don't really want to place them for aftermarket ones, to be honest. I think these in a sportive van, people would go for alloy wheels and all that sort of stuff, won't they? But I just think it looks, I think a work van, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I think a work van with its standard wheels, whatever they are, just keep it crisp, clean looking, looks so much better than something that's got all the bling and everything on it. It's a work van at the end of the day. Again, this giant headlight could do with a bit of a buff up, but we can sort that, no problem. New number plate on there, good clean up, and it's going to be looking pretty fresh on the outside. But let's have a look inside. So we got our remote key, which I think the middle one's unlock on these. No, that's lock. Top one's unlock. This is a little bit where things start to go downhill, and that can quite often be the case with vans. So the floor's worn through a little bit. That's pretty standard through your plastic floor. That's where your heel goes all the time. We've got a cover missing from, I imagine, maybe the OD port. I was going to say maybe the OD port is in there. I don't think it is. Let's come off its bracket on there. That kind of needs to... We'll play around with that. So it needs a little cover on there, and everything is just grimy. I mean, look at it. Definitely a builder's or chippy's van. It's hard to tell how much of this is brick dust, sawdust, and how much is just Greg's pastry flakes, to be honest. Cups of tea being spilt, and then all the dust has gone on it. The dog hair I have to take credit for. I did take Bash home in this yesterday because I wanted to give it a good test drive. So that wasn't there before. Oh, in fact, that's my hoodie as well. I wonder where I put that. They got these really good little sort of storage shelf on combi vans. I think they used to have it on the Corsa van, maybe not. But this generation of combi van and the one before, which I've had both, have that really handy little spot. It ends up full of your junk and your coat and your high vis and all that sort of stuff. But still, handy, all the storage space you can get. So like I say, we've got electric windows. We got CD radio, and I don't know whether it's just this radio or this is how it's meant to be or what. But I remember one that we had as well, and I ended up replacing this for the gas engineer who worked for me with an aftermarket one because it just won't turn off. Once you've turned it on, if I try and turn it on now with no key ignition, look, it comes on. So why they do that, I don't know. Is it just it's a common fault, or is that just how they are? Because you will turn your van off, leave, and the music's still playing. Maybe it goes off after a while, I don't know, someone can tell us, but we might end up changing that if it's a pain, because you're never going to remember every time to turn your radio off, are you? So, despite it being filthy in here, we have got our air conditioning, which I have to say I have tried and doesn't really work very well. I think it needs a regas. Not much in the glove box other than a few trim clips, which is handy, and a bulb. But despite being, you know, a bit grubby and whatever, and everyone's made a massive fuss about how dirty and whatever this is, I think this is going to clean up really well. If the steering wheel doesn't clean up that well, I don't know what it is with Vauxhall steering wheels, they all do this. They seem to just disintegrate on the top, maybe from the sort of oils on your hand, but yeah, they just tend to like rot away almost. So we might end up replacing the steering wheel. It's not going to be too expensive. It's nice that it's got a Parrot Bluetooth kit, not the most modern things in the world, but it does the job, I suppose, if you need to answer the phone while you're driving. But what's handy about these vans like this, having the sort of plastic or rubber, it's more of a plastic than it is a rubber, floor mats, is that it's just so easy to just clean that out. Give it a good hoover, loads of citrus degreaser in there, give the seats a good clean up obviously, but yeah, you could almost jet wash them out. In fact, some of the bigger vans you can jet wash out because it's just a big plastic tub in there. Quite nice that this being the Sportive's got a armrest and lumbar support, so if you're doing longer journeys it's not going to be as bad on your back. They've even got coat hooks in here, so quite a nice place to be up front. But I guess maybe even more important on a van is the back. Okay, I keep forgetting that what I need to do is get a new key case for this, because I think it's lock, unlock, and then lock and unlock the back section. So you can't just keep pressing the unlock button to unlock the back, which you would expect it to do. You have to press that other button, which is quite annoying. Good safety feature, I suppose. Stops you having people trying to steal stuff out the back of your van while you're in it. I mean, I've had that happen before when I was a plumber. So yeah, but I need to probably just get a new key case. What it would cost me, maybe £7. Get one of those and sort it out. So as you can see, it looks quite good in here actually. This door's pretty stiff. I think that one's a bit of greasing up, maybe a bit of loosening off or something, but nice to see that it's ply lined. We are missing one piece from here, which is a shame. Otherwise, it doesn't look like it's had that hard of a life, does it? It's had a bit of a frame or something built in for putting their tools and whatever in here, which is actually pretty handy, and they've not done too bad of a job of it. Plenty of screws and roll plugs and stuff still in here. And of course, being the combo, we've got a side loading door as well. So actually quite a practical little van, and much more practical I think than say like the Astra they used to have, because you put everything in the back of the Astra up against the back of the seats or the bulkhead, and you had to like lean all the way in to get something here, but at least with this you've got a side door, you can get in and get to it. And again, look, everything's dusty. I mean, to be honest, even the screws and roll plugs all look new and clean. I guess he was maybe an electrician, because this little junction box. Oh, and some SWA cable clips there that for holding clipping armoured cable. So electrician, it's only had light duty, and that's why it's so dusty in here, because they never sweep up. Bit of a tradesman gag there for you, for those of you who are in the trade. Yeah, actually I think it's pretty decent, especially for the money that we paid for this. I bid £1,600 plus fees to get this, so I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but let's say it was about 1,850, maybe 1,950, plus Josh went all the way over to London, Blackbushe, to collect this, so another couple £100 maybe, but let's say it's all in all around about £2,000. What a bit of kit. And I can't really understand why they made it a grade 5. Yes, I can understand a grade 4, maybe, you know, there are a few little bits, but this is where it comes down to grading. This is one of those examples of where you get a vehicle that seems really badly graded, but actually not that bad at all. But I imagine they would have done this front bumper thing as one thing that need doing, maybe the headlights they would have put in there. Technically, you know, this little crease here is technically a repair. What else do we have? Was it scuffs on this side, or was it the other side? We would have had 1, 2 more little dings. I'm sure we had scuffs over an arch somewhere, but maybe I'm going mad. Scuffs along there, that would have been another one. Obviously your wing mirror broken would have been another one. Your wheel trims, they probably would have marked that down. So in a sense it all starts adding up, but in reality, are you going to do those things on a van that costs you £2,000 and is a work tool? No, of course you're not. It's just, it is what it is. In fact, I still think that's a really straight little van, only on 107,000 miles. I don't think it came with any service history. No, that's a lie. It did come with service history. It didn't come with a V5, so we've had to apply for a V5. Not the end of the world. That's a £25 fee to DVLA. But yeah, I mean, I would have considered that grade 3, middle of the road. You know what I mean? It's not perfect, but it's certainly not bad either. You wouldn't look at that and think, God, that's beat up. By the time we tidy it up, I think it's going to look amazing. Maybe it went so cheap because it's got a knackered engine. Well, let's see if we can't get it to fire up. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Maybe a bit of belt noise, but we can sort that out. Any smoke coming out? Not really. I have to admit, it smells a bit diesely, so I wonder if maybe the DPF or the EGR is a bit clogged up. Maybe we'll put a treatment in, maybe we'll get the EGR off and clean it, maybe the DPF, I don't know. We'll let Steph decide that when we get it in the workshop, but being a small engine turbo diesel, obviously it is going to want to take longer journeys and not just be potted around town, which this may well have been. The electrician just potting around his local town doing bits and pieces, short journeys, not really getting it up to temperature is not going to be ideal. But look, it's not puffing out smoke or anything like that, and it sounds sweet as a nut. So yeah, I think it sounds all right. Like I say, there might be a bit of a belt you can hear there. Might want a new belt on it, but it's going to want a good service anyway, isn't it? So none of that stuff's drastic. But we'll pop the bonnet and we'll have a look, see what it looks like under there. Right, so here we are. Here's our little 1.3 CDTI. What a cute little engine. Again, could do with a good clean under here, but nothing's looking drastically bad. What have we got in there? Something looks like it could be a bit damp. I thought maybe there might have been a bit of diesel in there, but I don't think it is. Let's have a look at the condition of the oil. Okay, well, it looks typically diesely. Let's see if we can find the dipstick, and we'll pull that out, see what the oil condition looks like from in the engine. So yeah, properly black. I don't think it's necessarily been serviced super recently, but being a diesel, it doesn't really take long for that oil to get really black. You'd only expect it to stay looking semi-fresh in maybe the few thousand miles afterwards. I mean, if you're lucky, in fact, it could be 1,000 miles and it'd be, you know, as black as night. Coolant, oh, looks good. Again, not the brightest of red coolant, but we can do that as part of our service. That's not a problem. We've got a power box battery. Not sure I've even heard of those before, but on the whole, again, just like everything else, it needs a good clean up, but not bad looking at all. Certainly nothing that really makes me worried about this. So yeah, I guess we'll hop out on the road and see how it drives. Jordan's buffing away on our Honda CR-V there. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link up here. That's starting to look a lot better, and make sure you follow us on Instagram, shifting_metal, and I'll post an update video on that where it's looking nice and shiny. I forget how much I actually like driving a van. There's this really nice kind of upright seating position, and steering feels nice and light. It's just a comfortable way to be sat, and these modern vans drive so well. It's just like driving a car, really. So far, so good. Other than hearing that little front splitter scraping on the ground when we go over a big bump, I can't say I can find any faults with this. Can you hear that scraping? Obviously the van's empty at the minute. They're not going to feel quite as sprightly when it's full of gear. But either way, hopefully you should be able to get past lycra-clad men on bikes when the opportunity presents itself. Here we go, 2 for 1. No problem at all. It nips along. Forgot they are quite nippy, these little vans, these little 1.3s. Not fast by any means of the imagination, but you don't feel like you are struggling. So I've got my windows open because despite there being an air conditioning system on this van, I don't think it's really working at its full potential. I think it might be doing a little bit of chilling, but not enough. But luckily we can sort that back at the garage. We'll do a aircon service on this when we do an engine service on it. It's hot like this, it does make quite a difference being able to get in the van and cool down. And although it's a bit grotty in here, trust me, I'm sure my old work van used to be worse than this at times, and it needing a few little bits done like that front little splitter, etc. I don't think this is a van that's in a bad shape at all. And in fact, Auto Trader tells me that this probably should retail around £4,800. So we are absolutely quids in at the, let's say, £2,200 that it owes us. We're going to more than double our money if we go to sell this. And as tempting as that is, that's not actually my plan for this van. I have bought this for a specific purpose. It's not just because I fancy it on a whim and I fancy trying a van and because I just like buying anything at auction basically. All of those things are true, but that is not the main reason I bought it. I've decided to kind of branch out and expand on some of the services that we offer at Bera Motors. I really want to get more involved with the transport side of things. We've got our Beavertail recovery truck there. We've got a really nice tilting trailer to go on the back as well. And Josh, who works for me doing the driving, is a really ambitious young lad, and he's, you know, looking at where he's going to go to next. And we also have some really talented valeters and detailers who can do paint correction, headlight restoration, and are pretty decent at the auto electrical installs as well. Aftermarket head units, dash cams, trackers, that sort of thing. So my plan with this van was to kit it out as a mobile valeting van with enough equipment on board to be able to do some mobile dash cam installs, trackers, that sort of thing. And Jordan, who works for me valeting and is very good with his paint correction stuff, is going to take this on as a bit of a joint partnership basically, on a trial basis, in the same way that Josh, who does the driving for us, is going to take on the recovery truck and try and book himself some more jobs, because I think they're both more than capable of it. But it's not easy to start out on your own. It's not easy to go and buy a £15,000 recovery truck or a van and kit it out with all the equipment you need for valeting. Well, that's where I feel like I want to team up with them and give them an opportunity. Give it 6 months as a trial period, see if they can't turn a profit, make themselves some extra money, make Bera Motors some extra money, and the opportunity to bring on more staff underneath them, get more jobs going, and then make it a genuine partnership. So these lads have actually got a foot up in business, basically. This way I can kind of expand Bera Motors' reach without having to do all of the organisation myself, which frankly I don't have the time for. And I also feel like I want to give these lads an opportunity, rather than just saying to them I could book more jobs and hire someone to book these jobs, etc., and give them to you on your hourly wage that you're on. I think you need that motivation to feel like, how many jobs can I get done? How much quicker and better can I get at this job to earn an extra bit of money? And feel like, you know, how much you earn at the end of the month or the year is in your hands. You have the capability to do it. I hope that it's going to work out better for everyone, and I'm quite excited about it. So Jordan's first project is going to be sorting this van out, giving it a good clean. We're going to get some graphics on here, and we are going to fit it out with pressure washer, generator, water tank, all that sort of stuff, all of which of course we will document for the channel, so you can keep up to date with how Jordan's little side business is going. And we have very similar plans for Josh and the vehicle transporter as well. That's booked in a week or two, I think, to have its tachograph fitted to make sure that he is 100% legal, when he's got a trailer on the back of the truck, so he can do 2 cars at once, try and make it a bit more profitable for himself. And everyone seems really keen to try and make something of it, and I'm excited too. So if you don't already follow Bera Motors on Instagram and Facebook, make sure you check us out. There will be regular updates on what the guys are doing, whether that's us selling cars, servicing cars, collecting, transporting cars, valeting, buying cars. What don't we do? We're going to try and, you know, cover an awful lot of things. So yeah, exciting times ahead, and I hope that if you're ever in the market for high quality valet headlight restoration in our area, of course, that you'll consider Jordan with Bera Motors Valeting. And if you need vehicles transported, no matter where you are, up or down the country, head to the website beramotors.co.uk, and there is a page on there, transport. Fill out your details, your job, your start postcode, your finish postcode, what the vehicle is and everything, and Josh is going to get back to you and let you know how much he can do that job for, and hopefully he will just be busier and busier and regularly in your neck of the woods, wherever that may be in the country. And if you're watching this and you think you might be able to help out either one of the lads, whether that's Jordan, maybe you're a valeting chemicals company, and make sure that Jordan's van is kitted out with your products in our videos, then give us a shout. Message us on office@barrowmotors.co.uk. Likewise with Josh, perhaps you make straps for the recovery truck or a winch or anything along those lines. If you want to get your name out there on the channel and help out a young lad, 2 young lads in their 20s who are going to give it a go at having a crack with a business, then please do get in touch. Anything helps, and I think we're all going to really enjoy seeing these 2 lads trying to make a success of it. But getting back to the van, everything seems to be absolutely bob on, to be honest. Like I say, it's got a bit of a diesely, acrid, smoky smell. I think it probably just wants a good EGR flush or something, and that should sort that out. But you know, giving a service isn't going to hurt either. Obviously, I'm quite looking forward to seeing this all valeted up. A demonstration of Jordan's capabilities, I guess. So if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed, because in upcoming videos in the next week or 2, we'll be filming Jordan clean this out, start preparing exactly what he wants to go in the van, what he's going to need, where he's going to need it. We'll start building the shelving, all the fittings, etc. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what we end up with. And don't forget to drop us a message if you have any needs. And as well as the Barrow Motors Instagram, don't forget to follow the YouTube channel Instagram, which is shifting_metal. On both, there is always loads of updates about what's going on. There'll be updates on the vans, the recovery truck, jobs that Josh is doing, jobs that Jordan's doing. Just, yeah, loads of content coming out. We're going to try and get some YouTube videos out of these guys as well. All the jobs they're doing, the travels, etc. So, yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, I apologize for the waffling at the end there, but as you can tell, I'm probably quite excited about helping these guys out and seeing what they can get up to. Give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.